The Nintendo 3DS XL. Released in July 2012, this was a 3DS on the chunky side, and thank God the XL line of DS systems exist, because without them, I honestly don't think I would have any interest in going back to play 3DS or DS games today. The size of the base 3DS is just too small, and I find it incredibly uncomfortable to play on. As well as this, the 3DS XL in particular has a massive library of special edition consoles. I mean, seriously, look at the length of this video, it's f***ing nuts. So in today's video, we are going to be looking at every special edition system for the Nintendo 3DS XL and placing them into one of three categories. They will either go into the good, the bad, or the ugly. Let's get into this. The 3DS XL Super Smash Bros. Edition. Now, there are actually two different Super Smash Bros. 3DS XLs out there. However, they're so similar that I'm just going to talk about them together. So, as you can see here, the outer shell has got all of the main Smash Bros. Fighters here. You've got Link at the forefront with Mario next to him, and then you keep going down, and there's a lot of cool dudes. I will say that I think it's kind of interesting that they chose to do a black and white art style for the characters, but I think it works pretty well, and for both the red and the blue versions, it does contrast really nicely with the background. And then in the top right corner, you've just got the Super Smash Bros. Logo, which looks really nice as well. Overall, I think the design's clean, so both of these versions are going in the good. The 3DS XL NES Edition. I'm just gonna go out here and say it, and I don't think this is the most controversial opinion in the world, but this system is f***ing gross. Why did they just slap a design of the controller on the outer shell of the DS? It just looks so out of place and so incredibly lazy to me. Luckily, the inside of this system is a little bit better. They've got some red highlights on the D-pad, as well as red A, B, X, and Y buttons. So overall, I think the inside of the system looks pretty clean, but the outside is absolutely horrid. So without a doubt, the NES edition of the 3DS XL is going in the ugly. The 3DS XL Fire Emblem Awakening Edition. So this system has got a blue outer shell with a really nice piece of artwork in the middle here. You've got a sword in the middle with two dragons on either side of it, and I haven't played this game, but I think the artwork looks really, really cool nonetheless. And if you've seen my video on the 3DS's special edition systems, there was also a Fire Emblem Awakening Edition for that one, and those two systems are very similar to each other, and I like them both. So without a doubt, this system is going in the good. The 3DS XL Animal Crossing Edition. This is just a white 3DS XL with a few little colorful pictures of items in the Animal Crossing game, and overall this design is pretty harmless, but I also feel like it's really nothing that special. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to judge this one because I feel like it's not really putting itself out there too much. It's just doing the bare minimum to be a passable special edition system for the Animal Crossing games. So whilst I don't have many bad things to say about the system, I also don't have many good things to say about it either. So I'm gonna put this one in the bad. The 3DS XL Disney Magic Castle Edition. This is a white 3DS XL with a gold Disney Magic Castle logo plastered in the bottom middle, and then you've got some circle patterns which are meant to resemble Mickey in both gold and white, and I quite like the look of this one. I think the gold highlight is a really nice touch and contrasts quite well with the white background, and just gives it a really sparkly and Disney feel to it, which I think suits the system really well. So I'm going to put this one in the good. The 3DS XL Dragon Quest Edition. This system is a white 3DS XL with grey silhouettes of various monsters from the game, as well as that little blue dude again, and I think someone commented in my 3DS video explaining that this dude is just a piece of slime that's a part of the game. Unfortunately, I can't really remember, but nonetheless, I really like the slime dudes. I think they're badass. And even better for this system is on the underside, the pattern continues, which is not the case for all 3DS XL systems. You'll see in this video that a lot of them are pretty much just patterns on the upper side of the outer shell, and the bottom is usually pretty neglected, but that's not the case with this one. So I think it's a pretty cool looking system, and I'm putting it in the good. The 3DS XL Mario and Luigi Edition. This is a silver 3DS XL with a gold outline of Mario and Luigi running across the screen. And that's pretty much all there is to this one. Admittedly, it is a pretty simplistic design, but I still love it. I think it's great. I feel like this design is a great example that sometimes less is more, because the design is simple, but it looks really good. And what makes this system even cooler is that on the underside, there's a 30th year of Luigi gold stamp, which is also pretty cool. I'm putting it in the good. The 3DS XL Monster Hunter Cat Edition. I'm not really sure what the correct name for this one is, but there's 3 different special edition Monster Hunter 3DS XLs, so I felt like I had to differentiate this one, and as you can see from the design here, I felt like the Cat Edition was kind of a really good descriptive word to use for it, because this is a 3DS XL with a bunch of cats on it, and that's pretty interesting, isn't it, guys? Because I haven't played a Monster Hunter game, but this design here, despite being a Monster Hunter Special Edition system, is really not giving me that vibe, and I don't know, I just think this is a really bizarre one. The back of the system has also got these 2 little pigs on it as well, which is just raising even more questions for me. But whilst it's questionable, I don't think there's anything necessarily terrible about this design. It's just definitely not something I'd ever want to own, so I'm putting this one in the bad. The 3DS XL Monster Hunter 4 Gold Symbol Edition. Taking a look at the outer shell, this one's got some pretty cool patterns on it. It looks like they're just kind of like almost a panel of hieroglyphics of monsters on the left and right sides there. And then it's got this really cool looking gold logo in the middle. I'm not sure what it is, but just off appearances, I think it looks pretty cool. And then on the underside of the system, you've got some silhouetted patterns of monsters on the left and the right, as well as 2 little gold symbols on either side of the 3DS LL logo. And overall, this system's a lot better than the cat one. I'll just put that out there right now. So I'm gonna put this one in the good. The 3DS XL Monster Hunter Gold and Black Edition. So I think this design is really cool. It kind of looks like a monster has come up to the 3DS XL and just slashed across the top of the outer shell, taking away the gold color and leaving behind a dark black behind it. I'm not actually sure if that is what this pattern is necessarily meant to represent, but that's the vibe I get when I look at it, and I think it's amazing. And looking at the underside, it's got a similar pattern to the outer shell, however it's mostly gold with a few black strips in the top left and the top right corner. And overall, even though I've never played Monster Hunter 4, I think this system is amazing, so this one is going in God tier. The 3DS XL New Love Plus Rinko, Nene, and Manika editions. There's essentially 3 different New Love Plus editions of the 3DS XL, but with a different character and color scheme on each one. And overall, similarly to the New Love Plus 3DS special editions, I like that they use the portrait mode. However, I don't like this one anywhere near as much as the New Love Plus 3DS special edition systems. And I don't really know why. There's nothing particularly wrong with the artwork on each of these, but I would definitely never want to own one of these because, you know, I'm not really into this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm putting these ones in the bad. I don't care. The 3DS XL New Super Mario Bros. 2 Edition. This one is actually really similar to the Animal Crossing one we looked at earlier. It's just got some symbols from the Mario games on the outer shell, and it does have a little pattern in the background, but overall, that's pretty much it for this one. Like I said about the Animal Crossing one, there's nothing particularly bad about this, but there's also nothing that I love about it either, so this one is going in the bad. The 3DS XL New Super Mario Bros. 2 Edition, but the NA version. I forgot to mention that the previous one was the Japanese version. This one is what released in North America, and my god, is it a massive improvement. This is just so much better in pretty much every way. On the outer shell, you've got a massive picture of Mario there with a really nice smile. The guy looks quite happy, and in the background, it kind of looks like a Super Mario Bros. Stage, actually. You've got the blocks, you've got the coins, you've got the bullet bill, you've got the pipe. It all looks really nice, and on the underside you've got pretty much the same things going on, but with Luigi there. And I think this system is potentially the perfect special edition system for the Mario franchise. There really isn't anything else I'd want in a Mario special edition system, so I'm putting this one in a God tier. The 3DS XL One Piece Pink Edition. I haven't watched One Piece in a while, but I did watch it growing up, and what the f is this? Why is it pink? Why does it look so lovey-dovey? I will admit that this is probably me just having a lack of understanding of the franchise, but I don't see how any One Piece fan would want this, especially since there's another One Piece Special Edition 3DS XL that we're about to look at that is, in my opinion, a lot better than this. Sorry for the spoilers there, but I have absolutely no idea why this thing exists. Why would anyone want this? I definitely wouldn't want it. I'm putting this one in the ugly. The 3DS XL One Piece Unlimited World Red Edition. Now this is what I think of when I think about One Piece. It kind of looks like a comic book page on the outer shell of the 3DS XL here, and I think that is really cool. I like this one. I've got no complaints about it. The red and the black is really cool. It actually kind of looks like the color scheme of a Virtual Boy, which is a completely random thought I just had, but it kind of does. But I've got nothing else to say about this one. It's very good, so obviously I'm gonna put it in the good. The 3DS XL Persona Q Edition. I haven't played this game, I never planned to play this game, but I think the system looks cool. I'm not exactly sure what they're going for with the artwork, but to me, this kind of looks like the cover of a book on the front here, and perhaps that's what it's meant to be. If it is, I think they've done a really cool job on it. Perhaps if anyone's played this game and knows the answer to that, they can leave a comment down below. But nonetheless, I think the outer shell design looks really cool, and then there's also a lot going on the underside. You've got what looks to be all of the characters from the game just kind of chilling out on the back here. So I think this system is pretty awesome. No complaints from me, so I'm putting it in the good. The 3DS XL Pikachu Edition. On the outer shell here, you've got a really cute picture of Pikachu here with these nipples out, with the 3DS cameras there, and it's actually very similar to the Pikachu Game Boy Advance Special Edition system, but I think this one does it a lot better because you've actually got the full outline of Pikachu here. And what's even cooler about this is that the underside of the system actually extends the Pikachu design across both the top and the bottom when it's opened up. Isn't that just f***ing crazy? This one is going in the good. The 3DS XL Eevee Edition. Okay, so it looks like you've got the major colors of Eevee in this really interesting pattern on the outer shell here. I'm gonna be upfront here and just say I really don't like this at all. I feel like if they did something similar to the Pikachu Edition, that would have been a lot better, but this, when you're just looking at it as it is, doesn't really resemble Eevee at all. It's got the colors there, sure, but if you were just looking at this system, would you really think of Eevee? I know for me, it wouldn't be, so I think that kind of says it all about this system, but on the underside, you've got what probably should have been on the upper side here. You've got a really nice, cute picture of Eevee, and I feel like if they switched these around and put the Eevee on the upper side and then this pattern on the bottom side, it would be a lot better, but they didn't do that, so I'm gonna put this one in the bad. The 3DS XL Charizard Edition. This is a black 3DS XL with a gold outline of a Charizard on the upper side, and yes, this is pretty cool in my opinion. I like that they went away from the orange of Charizard and instead went with this black and gold color scheme. I think it's really cool, and the outline of Charizard does enough to still communicate what this is without the main color there, so I think that's really cool. And similarly to the Pikachu Edition, the underside actually extends the artwork on the upper side, and I think this is amazing. Out of all of the videos I've done on Nintendo's Special Edition systems so far, this is probably the best Pokemon edition I've seen, so I'm putting this one in God tier. The 3DS XL Pokemon X and Y Edition. Similarly to the Super Smash Bros. Edition, there's actually two different variants of this. There's a red one and a blue one, obviously representing Pokemon X and Y respectively. But since they're the same in pretty much every other way, I'm just going to look at these two together. So on the outer shell, you've got Xerneas on the left with a white outline, and Yveltal on the right with a black outline. And then in the background, you've got the X and Y letters in slightly darker shades as well. On the underside, you've also got the X and Y letters there, as well as outlines of the 3 starter Pokemon in the bottom right corner. And whilst they're a bit more underwhelming, I feel like it would be harsh to call these bad, because they're really not bad in my opinion. They're just not as good as some of the other systems, so I'm going to just put this in the good, but I was really close to putting it in the bad, so it's definitely on the lower end of good. The Nintendo 3DS XL Pokemon X and Y Gold Edition. Wow. Look at this. This is some amazing artwork. I know I just said that the Charizard one was the best special edition Pokemon system I've seen so far, but this is actually better than it in my opinion. It's a gold 3DS with this really beautiful artwork of Xerneas on the left, as well as the 3 starter Pokemon on the right. And then on the underside, you've got Yveltal on the right and the 3 starters on the left. And this artwork is just simply amazing. So without a doubt, this one is going in God tier. The 3DS XL Shin Megami Tensei 4 Edition. Not sure if I pronounced that correctly or not, but nonetheless, we're just gonna roll with it. So this is a black and white 3DS XL with some art of some things on it. I'm not really sure what the things are, to be honest, but they look a little bit spooky, and I don't know, they're just kind of hanging out here, having a good time, having a few beers, maybe about to get some lunch or something down at the pub. I don't know, that's just the kind of vibe they're giving me. But in full seriousness, this design to me is kind of meh. There's nothing great about it, but again, there's nothing awful about it, so I'm gonna put it in the bad. And I will admit that maybe there's a bit of bias here because I've never played the game either, but I don't care. The 3DS XL Super Robot Wars UX Edition. So this system has got a grid pattern on the outer shell with what looks like to just be space in the background, and I think that looks kind of nice. It's pretty minimalistic, but it's still really nice to look at. And on the underside, you've got what looks to be a bird's eye view of a city or something like that, some kind of town, or at least on the right hand side you've got the town, and then on the left hand side you've got what just looks to be the ocean. Again, I haven't played this game, so not entirely sure what this represents from the game itself, but just as artwork to look at, I think this one is pretty pleasant, so I'm gonna put it in the good. The 3DS XL Final Fantasy Theatrhythm Edition. It seems to be a bit of a trend in this generation to have the gold outlined work on the special edition 3DS XLs, but every time they do it, I think it looks good, so it's no different with this one. You've got the black background with some grey silhouettes on there from the game, and then you've got all the characters there in this really nice gold outline, and a little logo in the top and middle there as well. And on the back of the system, there's a gold bird thingo there, but other than that, there's nothing too much to look at. So whilst there's nothing too crazy about this one, it's definitely a nice special edition system. There's no way I'd be putting this in the bad, so it's going in the good. The Nintendo 3DS XL Tomodachi Collection Edition. This is just a really aesthetically pleasing system to look at. I really like the colors they use. The white and the mint green are just really pleasant to look at. And then in each of the speech bubbles, you've got a different, unique pattern to it. And that's pretty much all there is to this one. It's a simple design, but it's really aesthetically pleasing. And I don't know, I just like it. I'm putting this one in the good as well. The Nintendo 3DS XL Luigi Edition. So this is a white 3DS XL with a lot of Luigis on it, and each Luigi is a different shade of green. You've kind of got the vomit green, you've got the moss green, and the slime green. Those are the three different greens, and I don't like it. I think the white background with these colors of green on it just looks really gross. I'm not sure exactly why. I really can't put it into words, but I think it just looks gross. The actual idea of the system is cool, but yeah, it just doesn't look great in my opinion. And I guess it's also worth noting that on the back of the system, the pattern continues and you've got the Year of Luigi stamp there as well, but I don't like this system at all, so I'm gonna put it in the ugly. The Nintendo 3DS XL Yokai Watch Edition. This is a pretty basic system. You've got the white 3DS XL with the grey silhouetted characters in the background, and you've got the little cat dude here in the bottom left. And looking on the underside, it's pretty much the same thing, but with the cat dude just lying down. And just like a lot of the other systems on this list, there's nothing bad about it per se, but I've also just got nothing good to say about this system, so it's going in the bad. The Nintendo 3DS XL Yoshi Edition. The top of this system is green and you've got Yoshi running across from the left with an egg behind him, and I do not like this system at all. I feel like the artwork of Yoshi that they've used here is just really uninspiring and bland. Like, it just feels like Yoshi has got absolutely no character here. And on top of that, the outer shell just feels kind of empty. Like, there's all this space on the right hand side and the upper half that just has absolutely nothing going on with it, and I know there's a few other designs we've looked at today that are kind of similar to that, but I just feel like it's way more noticeable with this one. I think this system probably could have benefited a lot from having some kind of pattern on the green background instead of just a plain color, because it just makes it feel so empty. And looking at the underside, it's just a basic 3DS XL backplate with 4 Yoshi eggs on it, so there's nothing special about that, and I really dislike the outer shell here, so I'm gonna put this one in the ugly. The Nintendo 3DS XL Zelda A Link Between Worlds Edition. This, hands down, is one of Nintendo's best special edition systems ever. Firstly, I love the gold design on the front here with the Triforce logo. I think that's just really clean and looks amazing. And what I love even more about this system is the backplate and how it's black with an inverted Triforce, because this is very symbolic of the game itself, with Hyrule represented by the gold front and Lorule represented by the black back. So I think that's really cool, and what's even cooler about this system is that it's also gold on the inside, which is great. So this system is amazing. I'm definitely putting it in God tier. The Nintendo 3DS XL Concept Edition. So this was a 3DS XL edition that was available through a contest, and I'm not sure what the contest was, but I'm guessing it's something to do with the Scepter's Cup in 2012. But that little logo there is literally all there is to this one. There's absolutely nothing else here, so it's a pretty boring special edition system when you just look at it for what it is. So this one is going in the bad. The Nintendo 3DS XL Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire editions. These are extremely rare editions of the 3DS XL. I really couldn't find any good photos of them online. This is seriously all I have on them. So as you can see here, you've got the red 3DS XL with Groudon on it and the blue 3DS XL with Kyogre on it. Despite how rare the systems are, I really don't like the artwork on these. They feel like they're more like game box art than what should actually be be on a special edition 3DS XL, so I don't like them. I actually think they're pretty gross. I'm gonna put them in the ugly. The Nintendo 3DS XL Pokemon Dragon King Edition. So this system has got a Mega Charizard on the front here, and it kind of looks like it's popping out of this gold frame with a really nice purple, orangey kind of flame color in the background, and I think that's pretty cool. This one, again, was only available through a contest. I actually think you had to win some kind of Pokemon tournament to actually get this system, so again, this is very rare, and there's very few pictures of this online, but nonetheless, the artwork's pretty awesome on the outer shell here, so I'm gonna put this one in the good. The Nintendo 3DS XL IQ Mario Edition. This was again another contest, I think, but overall I quite like the design of the outer shell of this one. You've got a red and white color scheme here, with Mario taking up the right hand side of the art, and then you've got the alternating red and white boxes with coins and mushrooms in them. And overall, I think this is really clean, so I'm gonna put this one in the good. And lastly, we've got the Nintendo 3DS XL IQ Mario and Luigi Red and Silver editions. These are both pretty much exactly the same, but with different color schemes. And again, these were only available through a contest. But as you can see here, you've kind of got a Super Mario logo just plastered on the outer shell of these systems. And overall, I don't really like it. It's kind of boring in my opinion. I much prefer the other Mario editions we've looked at today compared to this, so I'm gonna put these ones in the bad. And yeah, that wraps up today's video. This was an absolutely mammoth task to record. I've been sitting here for about an hour and a half recording this. There are just so many different 3DS XL special edition systems to go through, so I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did make it this far through the video, it would be greatly appreciated if you could please leave a like on it, because that would definitely mean a lot to me and makes the effort I put into it all worth it. But anyways, if there's anything you would change about the list, definitely let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.